What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony AJ Joshua. Agile AJ sharpening his mind to trap Usyk. And this is what he had to say. He said, you can either be aggressive, corner him, throw everything at it, or take your time. Be clever, then knock him out, says Anthony Joshua, who will fight Oleksandr Usyk on September 25th on Sky Sports. Anthony Joshua says that he's sharpening the mind for his world heavyweight title fight against Oleksandr Usyk on September 25th, live on Sky Sports again. Anthony Joshua is sharpening the mind to avoid mentally fatiguing when he is faced by the unique movement of Usyk. The Joshua, the IBF, the WBA, and WBO heavyweight championships are on the line against Usyk on September 25th, live on Sky Sports. Joshua exclusively explained to Sky Sports why Usyk's footwork makes him his trickiest opponent ever. He says 100% he will be. Movement means you are never stationary to get hit. Movement is important. He says concentration. When you want to punch, you lock in, then make your move. You have to make sure your brain works. That can be mentally fatiguing, so I am sharpening the mind so that I can concentrate for 12 rounds. Also, I practice having the ability to punch 4 times, not just one. Concentrate, take your time, pin him down. It's a fight for the brain, knowing what you've got in front of you and knowing how to deal with it. You can either be aggressive, corner him, throw everything at it, or take your time, be clever, then knock him out. Those are the words of Anthony Joshua, and let me counterpunch. I like to hear things like this from Anthony Joshua, especially when he's targeting the mind. Most Ukrainian fighters, they practice a lot of mental games for mental strength. Okay, if you notice, they'll throw in words and they'll take they'll take these balls and they hit certain, this little chart, and they're hitting certain numbers on there, and people are like, okay, what is that about? That's mentally focusing yourself. Okay, it's a brain exercise. That I don't know exactly what Anthony Joshua is actually doing to sharpen his mind, but I've definitely seen Oleksandr Usyk, Vasyl Lomachenko, Vosnik, those guys do those same things, these mental training exercises to keep their mind sharp, because your mind, okay, is very important, okay, because it's easier to calm the body than the mind, okay? So when you're dealing with someone like Usyk, he knows that he's going to have to throw 4 punches instead of 1. Okay, throwing 1 punch is kind of like the mentality of Wilder, throwing everything you got behind 1 punch, and that 1 punch, you can do it all. Okay, you're going to need more than that against Oleksandr Usyk. And if someone like Wilder and Usyk, that's why look, I love the boxing forefront right now. I love how it's going. I love the fact that these guys are now fighting each other. I like Joshua and Usyk. And Joshua's knowing, like, hey, it's a fight for the brain, because he knows I can't give up when this guy starts making it difficult, moving side to side, those pivots, slipping under that left jab, getting out of the way, eluding left or right, and then coming back with his own punches. And then, you see, Joshua knows if he loads up on punches like that, he'll mess around and get caught with something himself. He knows. He knows what it's like to get caught. We all saw it. Okay? So at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is preparing himself mentally and physically, though, to throw 4 or 5 punches for 12 rounds. Because a lot of times, and what I'm really reading, and he said you could take your time and knock him out. That's what he's gearing for. But something about this tells me that, hey, I'm training for this amount of rounds, that amount of rounds. Do we know what that's telling me? That's telling me that maybe this might go to the scorecards. And definitely he's prepared to go 12 rounds. Okay? So that lets you know already automatically that, hey, there's a chance that this could go to the scorecards. That's why instead of throwing one punch, you better throw four, because you might hit or land one or maybe two out of those four that you threw. Bars. So, those type of things happen. And I think Joshua is working more on volume than power. That's why he said take your time with certain shots. Look at Vasyl Lomachenko. He doesn't throw with the same amount of power on every shot. Neither does Usyk. Usyk will go out there with that private jab. He might, he will probe it out there. And it's like a snake rattler. He'll come in there and he might shoot down to the body. He might come upstairs. He might chop it back up, turn it into a hook. He might throw the right and he might throw a combination. But his thing is defense. He's always on defensive minded, but at the same time, he's equally offensive minded. Okay, so that he's going to be a tricky guy to fight, and I do respect Anthony Joshua for giving him those props, because he knows this ain't going to be like anybody ever seen in the heavyweight division. All these guys, all these fighters talking all this, talking all that. They ain't the ones that's fighting Oleksandr Usyk. Anthony Joshua is. Okay, so he's preparing the best way he knows how, by sharpening that mind. Let's pin him down, and he could do that. And another thing you grasp from this interview is he may do that in spots. Like, hey, get on that man. If you get him in a corner, make sure you do something that counts. Because that's going to be only those few chances you're going to have for this sucker to be stationary enough with his high guard, because he knows, hey, this guy has me pinned, so I have to be prepared to what's coming in. Bars. But anyway, this is a very, very impressive interview from Anthony Joshua. I think his mind is in the right place, and I think he should forget about Fury and focus only on this particular fighter. You guys tell me what you think about Anthony Joshua's strategy mentally to be focused. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.